Hello, my name is Adam Rincon. Um, Today we're talking about three lessons regarding motivation, motivating employees. And I would say that my three lessons are just being early, taking control, and working harder than your employees. Um, the reason I say being early is important because um, regarding motivating employees is because when you're early, your employees are going to know automatically, like when you show up to work, that you're going to be there, and they'll start to feel like they don't want to disappoint you and be late, and they'll start showing up on time because they know that you're going to be there waiting for them every day. So because when they go home, they're going to be sitting there, and in the morning when they wake up, they're going to jump up out of bed because they're going to say, well, I got to be there because if I'm Adam's already going to be there. He gets there every day at 5 o'clock. um, Work starts at 6. He's already there an hour early, so we got to show up and be there at 6 because he's already going to be there waiting for us. And if we don't show up at 6, he's gonna either I'm gonna get on to you. I'm gonna get on to you, and I just they're gonna know that you expect them to be on time every day, and that's really important. And I feel like that does motivate employees as far as being on time, getting to work and working hard when they get there. And it goes into my second lesson would say, just taking control of situations. As a manager, you're put in that situation because you can handle all the tasks inside of a business wherever you're working, whether it be fast food, in a factory like I work, or in office. I mean, as a manager, you should be able to do just about everyone's job, not as equally good as they do, but you should at least know somewhat on how to do every job in the whatever you're doing. Because so when I say taking control of the situation, I'm saying, like, if you see a task that needs to be done, and you have no one doing it, um, then if it's something that can be easily done, um, and your employees should be working on tasks already. You should already have all your employees busy. If you have an employee that's not busy, then they should be working on that task, especially if it needs to be done, if it's fairly important or is important to anything that you're doing. But if you have all your employees working on tasks and staying busy, then you should be the one to go do that task. You should not take an employee out of their job to go do something that you could easily do. You should, I'm not saying don't tell your employees to do things. I think that you should always have a plan as far as your employees should stay busy all day. I mean, and keep them on a time schedule. Um, as long as they know that this has to be done, and if it doesn't get done, then we don't get paid or the company's gonna fail. Um, then that also is gonna motivate them to just stick on their task, and just monitoring them, making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing is also important. But you need to be also working on the simpler slash more important tasks that do need to get done, and don't ask your employees to be doing them if you don't feel the trust in them to do them. Just make sure that they are getting done yourself. And because if you start asking your employees to do easy stuff and taking them out of their job, then they're going to start getting this feeling of, well, they asked me to do everything, for them whenever they could easily do it. Like, I don't see why they asked me to do this. And it happens all the time, especially in restaurant businesses. I've seen that a lot. Um, Lastly, I would say is just work harder than your employees. It's very important, very, very important. Because if your employees see that you're working really hard, they're gonna want to not stop doing what they're doing. I'm not gonna say they're gonna be the hardest workers ever because they see that you are the hardest worker ever. That's not gonna happen. They're gonna still be the same workers, but as long as you're keeping them on task and keeping them busy with jobs that are fairly, as I say in my paper, that they should be fairly easy or fairly hard. Um, then I feel like they're gonna stick with doing their job, stick with being busy. They're not gonna jump from a task to another task without finishing the one that they're on. They're gonna stay busy all day. So that's why, and at the same time, you should be working really, really hard. You should never be slacking. You should never be sitting around talking. Um, you should be working on everything that's important that needs to be done. So, as in our factory, we have a lot of work and we have just enough employees to finish all the work. If it wasn't for me doing another employee's job, that I could, I mean, we could hire someone to do a job, but what's the point if I can do it? And if that's the mentality that all managers need to see, is that how do you rate yourself? Do you rate yourself as a person that can do one job, two jobs, three jobs? Um, I feel like I'm equal to about two or three employees in the factory. Um, that some tasks are going to be a lot harder than usual, but I feel like if when I'm working hard, and if I'm working hard, which I always am, that they're going to see that I'm working hard, and they're going to know that they need to get done what they need to get done, because if they don't, I want to be on their ass. and and they just see that, and it motivates them, because they'll never have a say of, well, our manager's lazy, or our manager doesn't do this. Well, they're also not going to want to take they're also not going to want to take if you try and tell them to do something, they're probably not going to do it, and they're not going to want to do it, because they're going to say, well, he's telling me what to do, and what does he do? Nothing. He just sits there, does nothing. So you got to be careful with that. You got to always, always, always be working hard, and harder than your employees are. Um, the last topic that we're talking about today is John Wooden's theory of success. And as I mentioned also in my paper, that there's one part that really stuck with me, and that's, um, you can be a winner if you outscore your opponent, and you can also be a winner by being outscored by your opponent. And pretty much saying that, winners, it feels great to win, and sometimes you still have that feeling even when you lose. And this happens to me a lot, especially in golf. I mean, you got there, some days you shoot really good score, really low score, and another guy that you're playing against just goes out there and shoots better than you, and you can't sit there and say, like, as long as you went out there and gave it your best and tried hard on every shot, and didn't just, I mean, some things you can't help, but if you just go out there and give it all your all, no matter what, if that guy beats you, that he played pretty damn well. I mean, if he plays pretty damn well and beats you, then what? Hey, what? I mean, what can you say? I mean, I got beat. I got beat. It was fair. But you know what? We can both shake hands afterwards, congratulating each other, and say it was one hell of a contest, because as long as you give it your all, it'll always be a contest. I mean, there's sometimes that when you lose, it has that great feeling of just like, man, I've worked really, really hard for this, and you know I didn't come out on top, but my hard work wasn't my hard work was seen by a lot of people, and so you're going to be rewarded with that. Just know that everyone's watching. I mean, even when you think that no one's watching, just because you're inside all day by yourself or whatever you're doing, everyone's watching you. I mean, everyone knows what you're doing, unless you're like off the radar or something. Um, Everyone's going to have an impression on you, whether you work hard or not. As long as you stay busy, keep working, I feel like you'll always be successful. So, again, my name is Adam Rincon. This is I think management class, discussion 4. Thank you.